Hello, Playdate. This is Don.
This is Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
This week we are covering Playdate news.
Recent indie releases.
And bringing it to you as the middling trinity of Playdate podcast hosts.
Thank you for listening. Let's get started. Way to sell them, Ryan.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't
middling.
want to be the holy trinity. That seems like it would be sacrilege to
Oh,
call us that. But, we're a trinity of sorts,
I was thinking there was
middling
like
at best.
three Playdate podcasts, and we were like the middle
Is there a
quality one.
third?
No, I don't think so. I only know of two right now. There
Right, the
were
official and
three.
us, right?
Yeah, early on there was another one, but it only did a couple episodes.
Huh. All right. Well,
Anyway,
if we can't beat them in quality, we'll outlast them.
okay, that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah,
You cannot dispute.
Ryan's
let's.
got that fighting spirit tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not ready to
I
lay
didn't
down
think those were fighting
for
words.
a
Were those
little bit.
fighting words? Maybe it was a little fighty. Maybe I need to tone it down.
Fiery.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Something's
Hey,
happening.
Ryan,
Hey. Oh,
got a
hey.
question for you.
I hope it has to do with boops.
It does. Are you ready to boop us into news and notes?
Hoobity boop 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 boop. News and notes. Well, that was a little hard. I said I was gonna
That
calm it
was.
down. The next one's gonna be more respectful.
Okay, let's go.
Can we give a mid on topic shout out to Gamma Goat, who was sporting his Hello Playdate podcast shirt at the Texas Pinball Festival this
Oh,
Yes.
weekend?
nice. Very
And
Repping.
nice.
may I also say that I got to meet Gamma Goat in person for the very
Woo!
first time, and he is an absolute delight. Thanks so much, Gamma Goat, for spending so much time with me and also for sporting our merch. Very much
And
appreciate
may I
it.
also give an off-topic plug to Gamma Goat, who is the software designer for a brand new pinball game themed around Portal, the video game. How cool is that?
The
It's
Portal, like
extremely cool.
Valve's Portal.
I cannot wait to
Yes,
play it.
Very
Oh,
cool.
that's so exciting.
It looks
If you
amazing.
want to if you want to find out more about it, go to multimorphic.com. Can we stick a off-topic link in the show notes, Don?
Yeah, sure. He
Maybe
he
down at the
was he
bottom?
was off topicing us all over the show floor. We can off
Yeah,
topic him. Yeah.
it's the least we can do. Excellent. Very good. All right. So I already disrespectfully booped us into the news and notes, which means we should probably talk about one of them. Let's start it off by congratulating Ray and Mission Lunatrix for winning the Play Jam 7. So the seventh Yam of Playness happened. The votes are in, and it's Mission Lunatrix for the winner of Play Jam 7. Huzzah, huzzah. If you didn't know what that was, it's a skateboarding on the moon game. So if that doesn't sell you on it, I don't know what will. But there's a lot of other really fantastic games in there. I got to play a few of them. I'm very excited about one of them that I'll mention at the very end of the episode. But for now, yeah, thanks for putting this Play Jam together. This was Axolotl's Play Jam, was it not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Very happy about the results from that. And I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Congrat
Do you play any of these games?
I did not have a chance to play the games, but congratulations to Ray and Mission Lunatrix, and also congratulations to all the entrants. It's always very exciting to see the participation and excitement around these play jams, and thanks everybody for participating.
Yeah, if you want to see the results, check out the results page. There'll be a link in the show notes, but it shows you how they're rated on fun factor and appeal and all and whatnot. So that's kind of fun to see how each one scored. But I played this one, and my first run. I should say that Ray already confirmed they're going to go through and fix a bunch of bugs and add some new features and whatnot. So the game is going to become even better.
Oh,
But
neat.
so I was just like skating around the moon, and like nothing was going on, and I was pushing all the buttons trying to figure out I don't get it. Like, what am I missing here? And it turns out it was just a bug. Like, I just ended up the first round, I was on an unpopulated moon. The second time, there was tons of stuff to do, craters to ramp off of, tricks to do, and it was a lot more fun. So, yeah, very fun game. So if you hop in to play it and there's nothing to do, just start a new game and hopefully that'll right the ship. But
That's
yeah,
interesting.
lots of
I
fun.
played a few games and never got to an unpopulated moon. Occasionally, I would steer myself to like an unpopulated area, but I could always
Hmm.
come back and find some craters or different things to interact with. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Hmm.
But right away, I mean, the second game was like, oh, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. I thought I had to make myself jump, but you just ramp off of stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
yeah.
was a lot of fun. So, and I love skateboarding games, so this is way up my alley. Great idea.
Pretty neat. Well, once again, congrats to all who entered Play Jam 7 and congrats to those vote getters too. That's awfully exciting. With that said, let's go to some less exciting news, which is the fact that Playdates are going up in price. In fact, at this date, our recording date, March 25th, 2025, they are no longer $199. They are now $229. So went up in price by what's that, 20 bucks? 30 bucks? 20,
30
30?
bucks.
30.
Math.
Yep.
30. Thank you. The reason given by Panic was that our old factory dropped us and our new factory unexpectedly charges a lot more to make a Playdate. So they got to pass that along somewhere. Understandable. Still, though, you're getting 24 season one games with your Playdate. So I still think this is a killer value. Um, if I dunked my Playdate in the ocean tomorrow, I'd probably go pick up another one. It's a fine deal. So, Panic. I hope you're not too panicked about your price raise here. And if you want to pick one up, we've got a link to the Playdate shop where you can get yourself a Playdate.
Yeah, I mean it's a luxury item. It's not a loss leader like a PlayStation or something. They're not making an upsell in software. So
Right.
it's one of those
And
things.
there's a huge third party community
Mhm.
making applications for the Playdate. So even after those 24 season one games have been completed, there's a ton more to explore thanks to the community. And yeah, I still think it's a great value, even at $30 plus.
Word them up. But if you don't agree, there's actually, for a very limited time, refurbished playdates available right now. So just a few days ago, Panic said, hey, look out. We're going to drop a real limited supply of playdates pretty soon. Well, as of this recording, I already told you the date we're recording. They are available. You can go add them to the cart right now. And we'll see how long those last. Probably not very long, but those are going to be $179. And if you don't mind a little tarnish on the crank or a little pre-use before you get it, that's a way to knock more math, $50 off the price with a refurbished Playdate. So good luck getting that before supplies are gone. Also, we've got an interview with Julie Bjornskov. Dawn, I feel like you should talk about this one.
Yeah, Escape the Board Game came out today by Julie and Anders Bornskov, and they did Escape the Arcade, and I'll have to look. They did another game that's on catalog, dancing game, but yeah, it's in Danish. The site is from Denmark, but you hit the translate button, and it's a fairly short interview, but kind of fun. And they said they have another Playdate game coming, I think later this year, and then they have their first PC game coming uh, that they're working on. So pretty fun. I don't know, they draw really cute art and then expand it into software. So I really like these devs, and yeah, it's a fun read.
Cool.
Very
Thanks.
cool.
Arcaden.dk is the site, and then I can't read the rest of the link, but it'll be in the show notes.
Cool. Well, fire up the old Google Translate, see what you can do.
Hmm.
And thanks for contributing to the news section here, Don. Really appreciate it. Speaking of the news section, we're in like a sub boop category of the news section that we like to call the uncranked corner. So we're starting things out with the fact that entries for the caption this contest are over, but that means voting has begun. So you can head over to the link in the show notes of today's episode and vote for your favorite caption. Now, the image for the next caption this contest will go live on April 1st. No fooling. This is like a monthly thing that Uncranked is doing. Zanya's already got the next artwork ready to go, and I chat with Zanya today. They told me they're already working on May and June artwork for the Caption This contest, so anticipate a monthly happening here with the Caption This contest. In the meantime, head over to that Google form, vote for your favorite caption from last month's entries. Guys, did any of you submit an entry?
No, I was staring at it and I don't know. I'm just not very funny, not very creative.
I had something I was going to submit, and I'm like, oh, I'm a very busy man, and I'll get back to that. And then I saw that voting is already happening, so I felt silly. So now I need to
That
go look at that on April 1st.
that was my problem exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still
So
vote though, so hop on there and vote.
yeah.
It
I did
looked
vote
like it looked like a an album cover to me, like all these
a little bit.
animals like striking a pose. And so I was going to submit straight out of the hinterlands.
Nice.
No?
Yeah. Yeah, I
No?
get it.
Okay. I don't know.
A little boomer
Uh,
humor.
all right. So with that lack of response, let's move on to issue number 7. Sneak peek is coming out in the video of Uncranked TV this Friday. So if you are a current listener to the Hello Playdate podcast, just wait a couple days and episode number 15 of Uncranked TV is going to come out, letting you know all about issue number 7 of the Uncranked magazine. You can find the Uncranked TV on the YouTubes, and we've got a link to that in the show notes of today's episode as well. Also, the next Uncranked Game Jam is happening in May. Feel like we just wrapped up the last Uncranked Game Jam and we're already getting ready for the next. Exciting times. So the itch page for this is going to go live in early April. And once that happens, the link will go out on Uncranked socials. And I did not know about this, but maybe the participants of last Game Jam know about this. But evidently, the last one had kind of short notice. And so this time, there's not going to be short notice. We're going to give everybody plenty of time. There's like 20 some odd days to join up and team up with other artists or devs if you want to. And the sign up date is going to be May 3rd. I pestered Zanya a little more and said, well, hey, that's great. Can we tell them when a sign up date is going to happen? Evidently, May 3rd is the final sign up date. But again, the itch page is going to go live in early April. I also pestered Zanya some more. Like, what else you got for us? What else can you give me? I want some juicy tidbits. And she said, well, guess what? The first prize is going to be a Playdate. So if you're lamenting this price increase, well, maybe you should get your bottom in gear and make a Playdate game for the Uncranked Game Jam. Give yourself an opportunity to win a Playdate as the first prize. That's a pretty awesome first prize, don't you think?
It is, yes.
Got me all hype.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and rounding out the uncranked corner, squaring it out. I don't know what we're calling this. There's a few misprints of issue number 5 that are available on the Shopify storefront with some discounted pricing and shipping. So basically, the misprint is that there's a page with an overlapping image with some text. When I looked at the uncranked Shopify storefront, there was not an image of it. It sounded pretty minor, but I said, hey, Zanya, is there any chance of tossing up an image of that overlapping image and text so that we can understand? So anyhow, Zanya said they're going to toss it up. Maybe it's already up by now, or maybe it's up very soon. But anyhow, if you like your discounts, boy, howdy, this fortnight we've got some for you. The refurbished Playdate and the misprinted issue number 5 uncranked. So get all your sales right here. Guys, any thoughts about the uncranked corner?
Always a ton of stuff going on. Sonia is a real inspiration as far as being able to get so much stuff done. Thanks, Sonia, for all you do.
Indeed.
And
Tireless
looking
and
forward.
prolific.
Yes. Looking forward to the next issue.
I just looked up the misprint and it doesn't look like it impacts the article that much. Looks like just a sentence or two is covered. So yeah, looks like a good
Yes.
deal.
Photograph is up. Cool. Thank you for checking, Don.
Yeah.
Excellent. And speaking of sub boop categories, I think we've got a destination update, do we not?
We do, yeah. Escape the board game. We just mentioned from Julie Bornskov is up right now. So go check that out. It's up on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Check
Looks
out
looks like a
Destination Playdate.
reuse of the pith helmet. Okay, very nice. And maybe a Dick Tracy outfit.
Like a Jumanji vibe, I
Is that
think
what?
he was going
Okay.
for. Yeah. But
Man, those
so
thumbnails always so good.
so this is a puzzle game. And so, well, not a traditional puzzle game, not like Tetris or something, but it's like an escape room type game. So
Yeah.
he's very careful not to spoil the puzzles.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Sidebar, my family and I just did our first full family escape room. What was it, like one or two nights ago?
I'm
Ah,
glad you
Um,
made it out
yeah. Whew, well, we
he's
didn't,
recording from
but
inside a
right.
submarine
inside the escape room.
in a strip mall. Yeah.
Evidently, the one we chose was the hardest one they have. We did not know this going in, and we went in with our 11-year-old son who was trying it out for his first time. To his credit, really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll
Hmm.
do this again. And pulling it back to this show, maybe I need to get a hold of Escape the Board Game and get the family on board with the Playdate a little harder.
I recommend it. Yeah. I mean, I haven't played Escape the board game yet, but Escape the Arcade is a similar type of game, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm, very
Yeah, you'd
cool.
probably like it.
Nice.
My son was they have state testing tomorrow in the same ballpark, and they have like a practice test, and I was looking at it, and a lot of the questions on there were like, if you are at a car park and you go up 15 floors and down 15 floors, where are you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, you got to play more video games. Like I was thinking Hotel Dusk and stuff, like those type of puzzles, escape room type puzzles would really help with this type of state testing. I don't know, the word problems.
I'm
So,
telling you, video games, not so bad after all.
no.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I can hear the pregnant pauses already, which means it's time for another respectful boop for the indie inventory today. Don, you've compiled another wonderful list for us. Let's hear what you got today.
Yeah, this first game, I don't know where I found this. Do you guys know how to pronounce this? Is it Okone? Ooh,
Uh,
Excellent question.
Okoni?
no, no idea. Oconee. Anyway, I forget where I found this, but I found it like the day we recorded our last episode,
Ooh.
and it seems to be some sort of PC game, but there is a
Oh,
Playdate version, and it looks
oh,
really impressive. And there were
wow.
a bunch of articles about it, about the PC version on just other sites. And for some reason, there's a Playdate version now. Anyway,
Wait, Don, what is happening here? Why is there a totally interactive image on here? Is this
this
like
is
the
like a
game
PC
itself?
demo. This is like a flash
You
demo.
can play it in your browser.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like
You play
an
part of it, I
anthropomorphic
think.
condom, is that right?
He looks like a pigeon kind of thing.
A bird? Yeah,
Hmm, is that what
So
that is?
this looks fantastic, but
it
Nick, you will
does.
sympathize. The only reason I haven't played this is I was reading, there's an article here that says Animal Crossing in a K-hole is the name of the article,
A
which
what
sounds
now?
a K-hole,
What's that?
like Korean inspired Animal Crossing. The only thing that turned me away is in this article, it said that it is sort of like a Lost Forest game or Lost Woods or whatever from the Zelda games, which I hate. And it said like that's the nut of the game. But the whole
Don,
point is that you're lost and
do you like mazes?
I'm fine with mazes, but this was really emphasizing that you're going to be lost and
Hmm.
the satisfaction is sort of finding your way out, but I hate going around in circles and mazes.
This
I
this
mean,
doesn't feel like Lost Woods to me from the few clicks that I've made in the browser version. So maybe it is like the Lost Woods, and I haven't progressed far enough. But it sure seems like a maze game to me, which is quite a different experience than the small Lost Woods sections in most Zelda games.
I feel like I would still get annoyed. I mean, I'm clicking around too. I still think I would get maybe a little annoyed.
it might be a pain in your
Okay,
K-hole, Don.
Maybe, I mean, it looks fantastic. Maybe somebody wants
it
to
does look
bite the
fantastic.
bullet and check it out
I
and
I
let me
I
I
know.
think
think
that
that I got
person may be me.
This does
I
look like a
got
Nick game. Yes,
I
Ryan,
got
sorry.
real excited when I saw the image in this isometric. I'm such a sucker for isometric images and
Yeah.
video
Mhm.
games. Oh, it really does look
I
beautiful.
I can
All
name like 100 games that are similar to this experience, and I enjoy them all. So I'm excited to give this a more thorough go here and
foreshadowing, Nick, you've got a
see.
pick coming up not next week,
I
but the
mean,
week
if
after.
you force my
Hmm.
hand, I'm gonna play it. It's fine. It's fine. That might be the way to get me in there. I don't know.
By
But
There you
forced
go.
hand, you mean guilted Dawn.
it looks like this page, this itch page, is at least 6 years old or more. Like, I mean, this post
What?
on here from 2017.
Well, it's
What?
been ported to every operating system and multiple versions for
Yeah.
different versions of operating systems. It's yeah, it's been around for a minute. It looks like it's really cool that they ported it to Playdate, and
Yes.
that's the version that I really want to experience.
It looks
Yeah.
like the update for the Playdate was about a couple months ago, 52 days ago.
Yeah.
We've been
This
meaning
year.
to release this for Playdate for a year, but we had to redraw a lot of the assets so it would display properly on a 1-bit screen. Finally done and available. So it looks like came up just a couple months ago. Cool.
Yes. Anyway, it's $5. It's by Rec and Divine. So that's Okone. It's some
O-
game.
Okone.
It'll
Okay.
be in the show notes. Next
Alrighty.
up, recommended by Ledbetter is a game called Boyd Vita 9 billion for $3 by regular Tetragon. And I did play this. This is a first-person shooter where you're spinning around and feeding birds as rapidly as possible. You're shooting the food right into their mouths in a 3D. Is this polygonal? I'm awful with the names of graphics. But
Light
anyway,
polygon.
basically you're strafing, you're shooting, and the birds look real pissed off. But the
Do,
action is fast and fun.
do have either of you played 3D World Runner for the NES?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't think so.
This sort of reminds me of that mixed with the Sonic bonus stages from Sonic 1 and 2 and maybe 3. I don't
Hmm.
remember.
You
Yeah.
you lost me with the second mention, but it sounds like you picked up Dawn.
Yeah, well, at least I got one of you for each. That's really what I'm going for with all of my
Excellent.
references.
Shotgun approach.
If we
Yeah,
name enough
exactly.
games,
A void feeder
some
approach.
somebody is bound
You got
to
WarioWare in
connect.
here, Kirby's
All
Dream
right.
Course,
Yeah, there we go.
Katamari. Okay.
Little nonogrammy. No, no, not at
all,
all.
all, all the hits. Um, okay, so that's Void Feeder 9 billion by regular Tetragon.
And it is
Another
$3.
fantastic game name.
It is.
Worth the $3 just to say that you own Boyd Feeder 9 billion.
Yes. Love the name. And next up from Aardvark Soup is a game called Sticky Bond. It is a Sokobon game, but everything
Ooh,
sticks to you. So kind of similar to Box Boy and Box Girl.
okay.
I did watch a video. Well, I think there was a video on the last Uncranked channel update, number 14, episode 14 or whatever. That's where I saw the video. But anyway, cool idea. So it's not like a typical Sokobon. You're not just pushing stuff around. You have to thoughtfully move stuff around. So this is name your
Hmm.
own price.
So are you saying Box Boy thoughtlessly pushes things around? Is that what you're telling us?
No, because you can get
No.
stuck on Box
Mm.
Boy. If
I,
your neck is too tall, then I gotta start over. Or too
I
long, or
I think I picked up those suggestions, Don. All right, all right.
hmm. We're gonna have to
Okay,
talk after the show.
okay. As usual.
This is our last episode. Okay. Next up is Scoundrel by Spellthorn. So this is sort of a port of a card game
Whoa.
by
Huh.
Zach Gage and Kurt Bieg or Big.
Oh,
Anyway, just like a card game with a regular deck of cards. I guess that's the game that Zach Gage and the other guy put together. But then Spellthorn liked it so much, just playing with a regular deck of cards, he decided to make it into a video game and ported it to the Playdate. So it's $5.
Cool.
I watched a video. I was second screening it, honestly. I have not played it yet, but this is kind of up my alley, and so I'll probably pick this one up at some point. The graphics look really dark, and so I'm a little worried how it's going to look on the device.
If by dark you mean amazing, you heard my audible whoa as we clicked into this itch page, and
Hmm.
just calling it a card game seems like it's a bit of a downsell. There's these like really, boy, moody environmental backgrounds behind the cards that you're playing with, which really seems like it just gives you an instant vibe, as the kids say, for this game already. Man, it just got me excited just looking at it.
Yeah, the cards are not playing cards. They're not spades and hearts and whatnot. They have very intricate art, detailed art and whatnot. You're right, Ryan. I did it dirty. But the way he
We
was describing it as I was watching the video, it seemed like pretty simple gameplay. He would walk into a room and he sort of was recognizing, oh, I can't attack here, I gotta leave. And I couldn't really understand why he was making these decisions, but it's not like there's that much going on the screen, so it seems like it's pretty easy to get into.
Cool. Looks really interesting. Good find, Don.
Yeah, look pretty cool. That's Scoundrel by Spellthorn. And then the last one from Itch is by Parse Noir, and it's Rocket Pulp Mini. I feel like we talked about this maybe when it was announced, but it is out now. This is, yeah, a catapult that throws a
I,
rocket and then you try and land it. You guys recognize
yep,
this one?
very much. I cannot forget this gameplay. I think I wigged out about it the first time when you twirl this rocket around and then launch it with a twirl. It's very memorable graphically. Yes, I do remember.
It looks
So
very silly and fun.
was it not completed when you mentioned it before and now it is? Why are we mentioning it
I
again?
I, I think we just saw a trailer or something. It wasn't
Hmm.
out. It was just being teased,
Okay.
but
Okay.
now it's out.
Cool. Man, it looks good enough to mention again.
I think it came out today. So anyway, it is
Irish
out.
Jiminy.
Rocket Pulp
Isn't
Mini.
that's real recent.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So this is by who did you say? Parson Noir?
Parse Noir.
Okay. Rocket Pulp Mini. Looks pretty major to me.
Nick, how do you feel about catalog games? Do you want to go over them or would you like me to continue?
I feel that you
Do it,
should
Nick.
continue, Don.
Do it,
Are
Nick.
you
Come
are
on,
you
Nick.
able
You
to?
can do it. We have faith in you.
It's fine.
Okay,
Well,
I could.
it's up to
Let's.
you. I know sometimes you have a hard time opening links.
Oh, that's true.
I
We have faith in
uh
your potato computer.
I feel like you all mischaracterize my amazing computer
He
every
added a lemon
episode.
battery.
I'm not at all trying to vamp while this link loads. All right. So first up, we have Escape the Board Game by Julie Bjornskov, and it is $8. And this is from the creators of Escape the Arcade, and it is a journey that takes you into the world of old school board games where nothing is as it seems. Escape the Board Games, a playful and mind-bending mix of escape room puzzles and visual storytelling, packed with mysteries and humor. Um,
I don't
this
think
looks
you're reading any of those words, Nick.
well. Thank you. Um, this looks super cool, and I'm really looking forward to trying it out. We have talked about it a few times so far this episode. That is Escape the Board Game. It's a puzzle adventure. It's on catalog, $8 plus tax.
Uh,
Nicely
just
done.
I just wanted to mention Dance Break Dance is the third catalog game they have that I couldn't think of the title of. It's a rhythm game.
Ah,
Very cool. All
Yeah,
right.
it's fun.
Uh, next up is Macho 3000. And this is developed by Yang Man and published by YMGS. It is currently $6 on catalog. And here's the description, everybody. Do you want to be a wizard scientist apprentice?
heck
I sure
yes.
do. Yeah. Let's see if you can pass the test, Ryan. Match elemental tiles, earn coins, collect magical items, discover secrets, build synergies, and big combos. Be strategic. Be careful. I heard that there are surprises along the way.
You
You
heard
can
that too.
expect a Adrenaline pumping boss fights, 100 unlockable items, unlimited synergies and builds, a groovy soundtrack, coins, crazy high scores, and endless mode. Classic match combo blast fun. This looks like a tile puzzle game that sort of reminds me of something like Yoshi's Cookie at first glance. It is not at all like that, but it kind of has that same appearance of squarish tiles that are being moved about.
Oh, gracious. Two things here. One, Nick, this is going to be a comment that no one will appreciate but you, but it appears to be like a magic squares mechanic where you like rotate the
Yes.
square around. Okay, that was just for Nick.
Ryan,
That was a
Thank you.
bingo reference, a
Wow,
bingo
yeah.
pinball reference.
Very deep
Now for
cut.
everyone else, there's a scoreboard, a leaderboard here. You know, one of the sales points was crazy high scores. So just to get you into this, the scoreboard ranges from the score of 33 to 4.1 million. There is a very large gap here.
And those are the first
my
10
God.
scores.
So that is a little something to entice you to get in on this. It looks like there are some achievable scores leading up to that very, very high score.
That is really cool. So that is Macho 3000, and it's developed by Yangman, published by YMGS, and it's $6 on catalog.
Excellent. Nick, did I
next
mention
up-
you're doing a very good job?
Why, thank you, Ryan. Next up, let's talk about shipping companies, and specifically one that's in space. It's called Space Shipment, everybody, and it's made by Ren. It's $6 on catalog. And here is the description. Take control of the mothership's probe launcher and send probes throughout the asteroid belt to their destinations. Use the power of gravity and orbit mechanics to navigate the harshest environments, swinging around planets, debris, and even anti-planets, which push away your probe instead of pulling it in. Will the probes make it to their destinations, or will the space agency be covering your losses until the heat death of the universe? That's pretty rough.
Boy, that's intense.
It is intense. So this features realistic gravity orbit mechanics, 50 handcrafted levels, pretty stars, and more.
Good
So
sales points.
this looks really cool too. I like a good space simulation with gravity mechanics. I find them very satisfying once you get the handle on them.
And precision aiming. I'm a fan of that too.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying this out here. That is Space Shipment. It's made by Ren. $6 on catalog.
Nice. They categorized that as a puzzle action game. I fancy some action puzzle games.
This may appeal to all three of us.
Wow. Interesting.
Broad appeal.
Unusual. All right. Next up, Strummer. It's made by Steven Namson, and it is $5 on catalog. Strummer is a guitar simulator that turns your Playdate into a fully functional musical instrument. Play the guitar by fretting a chord with the D-pad and turning the crank to strum the strings. Chords can be stored across multiple banks and are fully customizable using the editor, allowing you to play your favorite songs or create your own music. Huh.
Boy. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got excited about something. Go on, Nick.
Okay.
Is it related to the
features
podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
It's even related to this game, but I don't want to
Okay.
interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay. Returning to the features of this game, it is guitar reminiscent digital tones synthesized by the Playdate. Oh, it uses the synthesizer. 3 ways to pick your chords: saved preset chords by root note and chord type, or by inputting the fret numbers for each string. That's cool. A variety of options to adjust the sound and controls to suit your style: overdrive, vibrato, and tremolo effects with adjustable parameters. Accelerometer-based whammy control. Tilt your Playdate to bend the pitch. That is a cool feature.
That's bad bottom. Oh, I'm very excited. Okay, sorry.
All right. Ryan, get a load of this. There's song file saving and loading, and most importantly for Ryan, customizable guitar colors.
I mean, color.
On a
That's a bit of
one-bit
a stretch,
environment?
right? More like shades.
Black or white, I suppose. Okay, great.
This is in the feature list, everybody. Um, this is cool. This is a lot more fleshed out than I would have imagined.
This is
It
way
would
cool.
be.
The thing
Uh,
I was wigging out about it for. Oh wait, did I interrupt you again, Nick? I'm sorry.
Ryan, I'm used to it by now. Go ahead.
I keep thinking you're done, and then I keep feeling bad. I'm just
No,
gonna
no,
be
no,
quiet for a little bit until you
no, no, no,
say
no. Go
popcorn,
ahead.
Ryan.
Popcorn, Ryan.
Already?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing that got me all discombobulated at first was okay, so there's a lovely list of animated GIFs on the right hand side, which that's how I read is images. And so I saw like the different chords that you can select via the D-pad. So there's like a chord that's up, down, left, and right. Makes sense. Then I go down to the last GIF, and oh my goodness, there's 8 chords. So I was previously thinking, boy, this feels a little limited, but I know that a lot of songs are played with just 2 or 3 chords. But to have 8 chords, it looks like maybe secondary directions, like a northwest and a northeast. You can select alternate chords, giving you up to 8 selections on your Playdate guitar. And then I started thinking, man, you know how Narthex like does the drum thing after the Playdate hootenannies? Wouldn't it be cool to see someone do a Playdate guitar concert after one of those? What do you think? I'm not very musically inclined, but there's got to be some more folks out there who are. Mm,
Sounds like you're asking someone to do a lot of work, Ryan.
I don't know. If you're a dandy guitar player, I'll bet this would be very little work. That's what my ignorant musical mind thinks.
Okay.
You can get the
Um,
hurdy-gurdy and the ocarina out. You
yeah,
get those apps on there.
you can have almost an entire orchestra of really cool and unique instruments just on your Playdate.
Man.
So this application is called Strummer, and it's made by Steven Namson, and it is $5 on catalog, and it looks really cool from this guitar player.
Oh,
All right.
Steenam, this looks killer. Just saying.
It does. All right. Next up, we have Horrified Hector, and it's by Alex Siek. And Alex, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name. This is $4 on catalog, and Horrified Hector is a puzzle / exploration game inspired by spooky kids' cartoons and brain scratching ice maze puzzles. I enjoy those. As Hector, make your way through Duke Scarum's estate to escape the ghost that is chasing you. Run endlessly, collecting items and solving mazes. If you're lucky, you'll get out / move on with your life. Directional pad to move and interact, and crank to crank. An initial playthrough takes most players around 2 hours. Speedruns encouraged. Multiple endings. Always keep an eye out for hidden secrets. Proudly made in pulp.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks pretty cool. I like the dialogue windows and the maze applications
Hey,
here.
I'm noticing these dialogue windows have a character portrait with them. Is
Yeah,
that new in Pulp? I don't know that I've
I
seen that.
I
No.
don't think it's new, but it's I'm not sure if it's part of base pulp. I don't know.
I've for sure have seen that in other games,
Is that
but
right?
Oh,
it's well done
I
here.
have two, but it's I don't know if it's like a bespoke thing or if there's something that pulp developers are sharing amongst themselves. I don't
Mm.
think it's something that comes with pulp, if that
Huh.
makes sense.
Well, looks great. Whatever it
It does
is.
look great. Yeah.
This
Proudly made in pulp. Hmm.
it is made, yeah, probably. Sorry, I thought I said probably made in pulp. This looked, um, this did not ring a bell at all until I saw these gifs, and then I think I played the demo for this
Hmm.
on
Oh
itch
yeah.
on itch a while back. Yeah, I do like sliding ice games as well.
Oh
Cool.
cool.
Puzzle
All right. So
adventure.
that's
Neat.
Horrified Hector, Alex Siak, and it is $4 on catalog.
Radical.
So that is our last indie inventory game. However, there's some stuff that's on sale, I think. And
Enough
I'm
to
checking it
list.
out now. Yes, okay. We have Snow, normally $5, 20% off at $4. We have The Scrolling Enigma by Lugludum and it is 25% off. Normally $4, currently $3. So those are the two games which are currently on sale on catalog.
Guys, I bought Snow and I played it.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
It's fun.
impressions, please.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty chill. I think it's all daily. Well, there's a free ski mode, and then there's two other mountains that are just daily challenges, I think. You just have
Mhm.
a clock and well, one of them's a clock and one of them's a ghost or another person that you race against. But yeah, it's weird. Like sometimes there's nothing really in your path and you just go. And then other times there's like coins everywhere and there's little boost arrows and jumps and whatnot. I'm not really sure how to do tricks. I can do the 360 pretty well. You turn the crank real well and use the crank to steer. But yeah, it works really well. It's smooth and I didn't have any stutters or anything. So if you want a first person skiing game, I think it's like $4 right now. I would recommend it. It's pretty cool. And
Nice.
that episode 14 of the Uncranked channel has an interview with the dev. I think it's Fred72 is the dev. So,
Yes.
yes, it's snowing snow stuff this week.
Very good.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that does it for our indie inventory, which means we've got another respectful boopity boop to bring us into our pick of the week this week from Dawn. Dawn, what did you pick? Remind us,
I
please.
I picked Sketch Share Solve by RDK, and this was a very early Playdate game. Came out on itch fairly early in the life cycle, and then has been, I don't know, it hasn't really changed that much, I don't think, but it's currently on catalog. And if you're not familiar, this is a nonogram game. It's fully featured. Um, it's a Picross game, if that term means more to you. But you can create your own puzzles. You can export your puzzles for other people to play. And it has 250 puzzles just built into the game. There's tutorials. You can have multiple player profiles. I don't know how many. I think well, I don't know, at least two because I've got two on mine. But that's pretty cool. There are configurable hints. Huh.
Hmm.
Well, that's something I would like to talk about because I did not see the hint thing, and I thought we were doing Ryan a disservice, but maybe um, that's a good thing. Maybe Ryan took advantage of that. And there is a timer mode and whatnot. Oh, Ryan's shaking his head. So, Ryan, we have been bugging Ryan to play a Picross game forever, and he ignores
Since
us.
the start of the podcast, I think.
Yeah. The first one I ever played was Mario's Picross on the Game Boy, like in the
Same.
mid 90s. Okay, Nick too. And I played it again this week because it randomly it was released on the Switch this week or last week,
Huh.
which is so weird. I told them about the Super Nintendo one, which is in Japanese, which is
Right.
okay, but the Game Boy one was released this week, and it's so good. Like I played a bit of it, and it's so good. And so like it reminded me like, oh yeah, this is why I got hooked. Like it still holds up so well. And
Yeah.
so Sketch Share Solve, like I played this and I played a couple other, there's a bunch of Picross games on the Playdate, and I tried a couple of them. And Sketch Share Solve is like it just does everything right. But one thing that I felt was maybe a disservice to Ryan is that it wasn't marking errors, which is something that I feel like is maybe a big thing for beginners. Like if you make an error, it'll mark it. This is okay, you screwed up. This is you're not supposed to mark this as a square or whatever. Um,
Okay.
but is that what this or excuse me, configurable hints is? Did you guys toggle that
I
I,
am
on?
s-
I am
I
the
s-
wrong
I
person to
saw
ask.
I saw the configurable hints, but I left it at the default.
Okay. I did not
Yeah.
see it. I totally missed that. And I was like, oh man, this is going to screw Ryan up. Because if you can black out everything, you're never going to know what you did wrong. Okay, so Ryan, most Picross games, if you block out the wrong thing, you get a strike or a time penalty or
It whoops
something will
at you.
tell you, you're not supposed to do that. And
Mhm.
middle exit out for you instead of,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. So then I was thinking, well, maybe this is a hard Picross game. So I would like to hear Ryan's thoughts.
Yeah, okay. So I have some. First of all, if you are as clueless as I was prior to playing this game, this felt a little Sudoku-y to me,
Okay.
like sort of in that vein a little bit. So if you don't know what nanograms or Picross games are, like I did not, that's kind of the vibe that I got.
Mhm.
Um, and I did not try configuring the hints, but it totally makes sense why it might whoop at you. But with that said, I did not feel like it was super hard or difficult to get into. As a matter of fact, I thought the tutorial showing you how to play was really great. And that is coming from somebody who has critiqued tutorials of the past and felt like they weren't quite straightforward enough to bring me in particular into the game straight away. But this one felt that way. It felt like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, I understand. And there's a number of rules to go over, but I did not feel lost or overwhelmed. Yeah, I felt like I got it pretty quickly, as a matter of fact. So no, not too hard for at least this beginner. Um, and I really enjoyed my time with it. I can't say I'm a huge Sudoku fan, but I did enjoy. I can do Sudoku. I understand what it is and how to do it, and I've done them before. I just don't find myself coming back to them. But I think one of the things that gave me pleasure in this game was seeing that each solved puzzle was a little pictogram of some sort, that it wasn't just a set of random blocks, that I enjoyed seeing what I was making, and that sometimes those pictures would occasionally help me solve a puzzle. Like, oh, I think I see what they're going for here, so I'll bet it's here instead of here. Like if there was an ambiguous place to put blocks, that sometimes helps. Um, I feel like I could talk about this for quite a while longer, but I don't want to hog the rest of the cast, and I do want to hear from Don, your fellow Picross enthusiast, Nick Baldridge. Nick, what did you think of this game?
I've played a number of Picross games, not as many as Don. Don is the most enthusiastic Picross enthusiast that I think I've ever met. Um, Molly also enjoys a good Picross, so this is a really cool game that I'm looking forward to sharing with her. The share part of Sketch Share Solved, and it's got really chill music, and I enjoyed uh, what time that I was able to spend with the game. It is really a fun and straightforward series of puzzles in the beginning. Um, and From what I've read, I haven't gotten to the point where they ramp up to traditional Picross, where you have a big blank grid of 25 squares across and 25 squares down, or 50 squares, or whatever the case is. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point and kind of comparing it to other Picross games, of which I have played quite a lot. But I did find that the nanograms that were created, the pictograms, are really cool, and they're really expressive for what they are. And that's not always the case with Picross games. Sometimes they're pretty inscrutable. So I felt like the developer did a very good job, both in handholding uh, new players in the early stages, and also in creating really cool pictograms at the end. So I've very much enjoyed the time that I've spent with this game, and I think it's really cool. Uh, Don, do you have further?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the actual artwork because I did find it very charming. The puzzles
Mhm.
were really cute or interesting, where playing a lot of them, they're either really boring or straightforward or simple. and it's like you can only see so many anchors or ships or whatever. And even I think there was a ship in this one, but it had a little bit more going on than a typical ship. And
Yeah,
there
nice
it was just different
flourishes on.
stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it had like a little bit more detail than you would expect from these type of games. And it didn't follow the same sort of boring progression of puzzles that most of these type of games follow. It got into like interesting stuff right away. And
Yeah.
the dev was in our Discord, Rebecca, and mentioned that basically they're just organized from like easiest to hardest, except for the
Mhm.
last couple. The last couple go back to, okay, small spoiler. The last couple go back to a little bit easier, but they kind of finish with like uh, they're handpicked to be the last couple puzzles. And so I jumped into I don't know, like number 245 or something just to see like how hard it was. And they were pretty difficult just because you have to, I mean, Nick knows, like you have very little information, and so you got to really kind of figure out like, okay, 111 is very spread out, whereas if you have 5, 4, and 3, okay, well, that gives you a lot of meat here to
Mhm.
sort things out. Nick, they don't really get bigger than what you see on the catalog page. I think
Okay.
10 by 15 is as big as they get.
Okay. That's very
Yeah.
manageable.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm impressed if the nanograms, the pictograms, continue to be as expressive as they are for the number of puzzles that there are. Because as Don sort of mentioned, in other games, you tend to have some pictograms that kind of repeat from game to game. You tend to see the same kind of stuff just in the name of having more puzzles. Um,
Hmm.
and I did not get that feeling from this one, even from the first puzzle onwards. I felt like this was something fresh and a little new. Um, and I very much appreciated that. I do have a question for all of you, meaning you too. Um, which avatar did you select?
I accidentally selected the snail and couldn't go back and select a different one.
Accidentally.
Well,
Okay.
like I hit the button
Ryan.
too fast and was like, whatever, I guess I'm the snail now.
Okay. Ryan, how about you?
I was the trash bandit.
Very nice. I was also the snail, but I purposefully chose it, Don.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know what the
Now
other
you now
options
you've
were.
made Nick feel bad about his choice.
yeah.
Oh,
I saw somebody mention that
Anyway,
you could design your own,
yeah, that's the
yep,
which
last
is
option.
cool.
yep.
Okay, that's cool. I
Shouldn't
probably would
I
skip
have
through
tried that.
things, Don.
I was
I just
very
accidentally
tempted.
hit the button and committed.
I was really tempted about designing my own avatar, but
I'm
im-
surprised that you didn't.
I was impatient to get into the game. I really wanted to get into it. So I'll just give me the raccoon and
So
got
did
it.
you guys make a sketch at all?
I did, yes, and
Ooh.
I would love to share it if I knew how to export JSON files, but
You need to
that
look that
sounds like
up.
a Nick tutorial at some point.
Happy
But
to hold your hand through that.
I also understand that Nick is a very busy man, so maybe it will just live on my Playdate.
We
I
got to
might
get
have to
this
look that
done.
up.
We should share it with the community.
Oh, we'll
See
see.
what people on the Discord think.
Don, I did have Picross story for you though, so
Ooh.
bear with me for a second. I swear this comes back, but last week I was at an orchestral performance. What do you call that?
Symphony?
Symphony, I guess. So my kid's buddy's dad um, composed this symphony song, multiple symphony songs, and so we went to go see it, and so his family was there, as was the friend of my kid, and unprovoked, this kid comes up to me and says, "Mr. Claytor, Mr. Claytor, uh, did you know I played this awesome game on Switch family what is how they give like Game Boy
Switch
games,
online.
Switch
Yeah.
Online, and I play this awesome Game Boy game. You're never gonna guess what it is. It was Mario Picross. It's the best. Oh my God, you have to play it. And I was
Yeah.
just like beside myself as he
Hell
was
yeah.
telling me about this. I'm like, he's gonna have zero context if I start telling him about my good friend Don. But I knew that I had to tell you that I was shamed into playing Picross by more than just you.
My man.
Nice.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
I would highly recommend you to at least try that one. The first puzzle is very cute on that one, but I think it will give you a different view of what Picross games kind of are, because it's very different than this one, but it's more similar to a lot of other Picross games,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
might be
Well,
more up your alley. It's got more flair to it. My only knock is that it's like you're an archaeologist and you're chipping away at like stones or tablets or whatever, and so it has this little tink 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 that gets a little annoying. That's my only knock on the thing, but that's
uh,
so cool that it was introduced a new generation to Picross games.
yeah, he
It's so
was
funny.
real excited about it and told me this was a must play. This kid is like indescribably interested in retro gaming, and so when he comes over
Awesome.
and sees my Game Boys and my, VFD games, he just goes nuts. And so he was real excited to tell me about this.
Very nice. I love hearing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up on the Playdate community wiki, and it has level sharing instructions for exporting and importing the puzzles. So I put it in our chat, but I also will include it in the show notes. So it doesn't look hard. You plug it into the computer, download the file. Ryan, you probably noticed when you made your own puzzle, it like made a creator code for you or a little creator folder in the game,
Yes.
and so it'll probably stick it somewhere under that creator.
So I made my first one. I just need 249 to go, and then I can export.
Yeah. What did you make?
Oh, well, I can't tell you. It'll
Those are
Oh.
ruin
spoilers, Don. Come on now.
So when I first played the game, I made a pinball machine, but it was real crappy. And so this week I made a pair of glasses that looked pretty good, and it was a fun
Ah,
puzzle to solve. I had a pair of glasses on the table next to me, and I'm not very creative, but uh it was cool to be able to make one. And I kind of like that it didn't let me that I used like a 10 by 20. It wasn't
Hmm.
like, oh, I think if it let me create
Here's
like choose
infinite
my
space.
size, yeah, then it
Yeah.
would have been kind of overwhelming. But just
Yeah.
having that one size was like, okay, this is what you got. I appreciated that.
totally. Yeah. I tried my hand at pixel art for a while and was working in like a, I don't know, 16 by 16 grid and
Mm.
getting these periodic challenges of what to make each day. And I got through them all. And then the last challenges of the month were like, okay, now try a 32 by 32. And I'm like, "Oh, I've been doing this all month. This won't be that big a deal." And it was so overwhelming just getting those additional pixels. So there's really something to be said for constraints when it comes to art making or creativity, like you were talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that I was asking on the Discord about how to make the chosen blocks solid black because they just had like I mentioned on the last episode as well because they're just shaded. And Rebecca ended up adding the Paint It Black update
Hmm.
to both Catalog and Itch, which added that option. So I played it in black, dark black. So I
I
really
did as
appreciate
well.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
High
It was a
contrast. Very helpful.
small tweak, but yeah, I appreciated the high contrast. It was really nice. I played the
And
game Grid Glyphs on
Hmm.
Catalog to kind of see if this would be a better fit for Ryan when I was choosing the two, and it plays more like a sort of typical. I guess it has more of the features of a typical Picross game, but the it wasn't like it as snappy and it wasn't as clear. The actual grid wasn't as clear cut, I don't feel, as Sketch Share Solve. Like I feel like this is one of the most clear screens graphically. Like you
Hmm.
know exactly where the numbers are, you know exactly where the grid is. Whereas grid glyphs, the number one and the edge of the puzzle are sort of the same pixel width. And so it's kind of like, oh, is there an extra one
Okay.
there, or is it just the edge of the puzzle? I
Mhm.
felt like this was a better. Um, it's a really fun game too. Grid Glyphs is. They're both really fun, but they're just have different ups and downs. So
Yeah, I remember you saying you played multiple nonogram games before choosing this one, and I was curious what made you choose this. So that's interesting to hear.
it also it isn't it just isn't as snappy as this one. Like when
Mm,
you're pushing the D-pad left and right. I only play nonogram games with the D-pad as well.
mhm.
We had a discussion with Scott in the Discord about using the stylus. I think you got a 3DS recently or DS, Ryan. There's some
Yep.
really good games on there.
Yeah,
There's
there are.
3D games on there. Picross 3D is a
Huh.
lot of
Yeah, that's
fun where you're
Oh,
that's
wow.
moving.
Molly's favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. You're moving
Neat.
a 3D block and like chipping away, and you
Hmm.
end up getting a 3D sculpture at the
You
end.
you carve out a sculpture. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's neat. That gets me excited. One of my favorite analog games or board games is this like three-dimensional Connect Four puzzle. There's like these
Hmm.
4x4 grid of posts, and you can get four in a row along the bottom, along the side, straight up and down, diagonally, three-dimensionally, or along a second row. It's such a cool game. Anyway, I dig that three-dimensional aspect. I'll have to look into that on the DS.
I hope there's
Well,
a physical version because some of them you can only download, and I think the service is shut down.
Hmm.
terminated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Go ahead, Nick.
not to bring us back to Sketchshare,
Don't do
but
that.
I wanted to see um, if we had any community feedback from the Discord.
Good question, Nick.
Yeah, we got one from Dino in the show notes. Do you want to read it, Nick?
Yes. Dino says this game is a cozy, stress free puzzler that is perfect for tea breaks. I really enjoy this kind of self paced process of elimination brain teaser. Puzzle 9 stumped me. I spent far too long stubbornly trying to solve it before realizing that the best strategy would be to attempt other puzzles before returning with fresh eyes and an improved set of tactics. It sounds like Scotty had a similar experience. Marking every unviable / eliminated tile across the board drastically decreased the time it took for me to solve each puzzle. The more I focus on this, the quicker I can progress through the game. I was surprised how little I relied on understanding the artwork when deciphering each puzzle. I think I considered what the image could be to help narrow down the tiles on only a few occasions. I just spotted the timed mode and have given it a spin. This completely changes the vibe and adds an element of competitive gameplay. It'd be great to see a leaderboard. I guess that would need to accept first attempts only, maybe using a fresh daily generated image. It'd be a challenge to get that working well and retain a level playing field. It's great fun. Thanks, Rebecca.
Very nice. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dino, for your
Yeah.
feedback.
indeed.
Appreciate that.
And very, very British and playing in his tea breaks. I love
Yes.
that.
So, you all, what do you think? Do we recommend this game? Is this something that we think listeners might enjoy?
Yeah,
I think we
absolutely.
know I think we know Don's answer. I'd give it a thumbs up as well.
So you enjoyed your time with the Picross game,
I
the
did,
nonogram
yeah.
game.
It definitely wet the old whistle here. Like I said, my penchant for Sudoku games is uh, it's not my first choice, but I did enjoy during my tea breaks to have a nice, little problem solver every once in a while. That was cool. So I totally understand the appeal, and my interest genuinely is piqued to go check out Mario Picross and see what that's
Nice.
all about on the Game Boy.
There's
Very cool.
there's also Sega Genesis and Namco Picross on the
Huh.
Switch that have obviously lots of different puzzles surrounded around those pixel characters. There's also one of my favorites is called Murder by Numbers, which is a murder
Hmm.
mystery, and you're solving, oh, what is this clue? And then you solve the puzzle, and oh, it's a knife. That was the murder weapon on this, or oh, I found a gasoline can, and da 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 da.
Hmm.
And it's set in the 90s, so it's very 90s inspired art and
With
whatnot.
flying robots.
That does it. I haven't played it in a while, but yeah. There's a dating sim one, Make Out Puzzle League, I think. because there's a million of
It's
them.
Yeah, and this is a really cool one. So if you like these type of games or you like puzzle games generally, this is an easy recommend from me as well. Um, good pick,
Radical.
Don. I've
Yes.
been meaning to play this since it came out initially, and this was a good time to give it a go.
Cool.
Indeed. Snaps to Dawn, snaps to Rebecca. Nice work, everyone. Thank you for playing along, everybody in our Discord. And speaking of playing along, if you'd like to continue doing so, we've got another pick of the week coming up next episode, and it happens to be from moi. This time, it is a brand spanking new shiny game called Lunorbit. Lunar Orbit, Lunorbit. Smash them all together, Lunorbit. And this one, okay, so this is part of that game jam that we just mentioned that wrapped up recently. And when I first saw the gifts for this, it gave me real strong Hypermeteor vibes. Now, I love Hypermeteor, but it kind of turned me off a little bit thinking, this is just kind of like a Hypermeteor clone. But I would say this gameplay feels extraordinarily different. I fancy myself a reasonable Hypermeteor player, and boy howdy did I ever need a few runs of this game before I started getting the hang of it. And it just really sunk its teeth into me. This happens to be by an extraordinarily prolific dev, Power Dive Games, has over 20 different Playdate games to their credit. Um,
Wow.
and this this is another banger. I can't wait to share this with folks and start chasing some high scores. So, if you want to get into that, we've got a link to it in the old show notes, as you know. And if you fancy it, hey, come on over to our Discord. We've got a Discord for the podcast where we have subsections of our pick of the weeks, and you can get in there and chat with us and ask questions or post your high scores and whatnot. But if you don't fancy that, then you can still find us on playdatepodcast.com or the streaming service of your choice. Thank you, Brain, for quitting there. I thought you were going to make it a whole episode without quitting on me. No luck. We're also on the Blue Skis, helloplaydate.blueski.social. We're also on YouTube somewhat recently. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/at Hello Playdate Podcast. You can even email us, helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com, or gosharoo, it's been a while since we've heard from anyone on the bingo tip line. You think that's a joke? It's really not. You can call up 724 Bingos 1. That's 724-246-4671. Leave us a voicemail there and we will hopefully play it on air. So give us a call, let us know what you think. And Don, here's what I think. Thank you for cleaning up the end of these show notes so that I don't have to
No
figure out
problem.
which one of these to say. I've been meaning to do that for a real long time. Thank you for picking up my garbage so that we can cruise along this final segment more efficiently.
You got it. Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you,
Okay,
listeners.
bye.
Wow.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.